What is up, guys? Welcome back to Electric Buzz. Today we're going to be doing a review video on the EP500 Pro. These units have actually been out for some time. We actually got them in about a year ago, but we're going to be shipping them out. So I just wanted to do a quick review video, give you guys some features, a quick background of the EP500 Pros. So as always, let's get right into the video. All right, guys, so before we kind of get into all the specs of these units, the first question that we have to ask is who might be in the market for these units and what are these units for? What is the use case of these units? And again, why would you guys want to get them? So these are basically large portable power stations that can essentially power your entire guy's house or, refrigerator, AC, things like that. Now, I will be completely transparent with you guys. These units are not big enough to necessarily run your entire house for days on days on days, but you guys should be able to run what you guys need for at least about 24 hours, when it comes to running some AC, taking care of the fridge, things like that. So one of the big use cases for these products is basically natural disasters. So if you guys live in Florida or you guys live in places where there's lots of tornadoes, hurricanes, etc., these things will do a great job of being there in the house. It's an alternative to using gas generators. It's just a great thing to have around if you're living in one of those areas. So let's just quickly go over the inputs and the outputs on these EP500 Pros, and we'll go ahead and start off with the inputs. So on the inputs tab, you essentially have two different sources of input energy. You also have an attachment that will allow you to attach it to another unit if one unit is not going to be enough power to power your house for a certain amount of time. Moving up onto the actual AC output, we have basically a plug that you'd be using for microwaves, for fridges, for dryers, things like that. So if you guys need to power a refrigerator, things like that, you have this input right here. Might need to buy a converter depending on if you're UK or if you're US. Then you also have some regular AC outlets here, just regular plugs. So, anything like an iPhone, a computer, just the day-to-day uses are going to be right around here. So moving on to the DC output, we have some USB, some USB-Cs, and also basically a car output, something that you would have inside of a car. On top of the actual units, you also have some wireless charging of 15 watts. So if you guys have, a newer iPhone or a Samsung phone, you should be able to charge that right on top of the EP500 Pros. All right, so how long does it take to charge these big boys up? It takes about 2 hours. We just let it charge over the last few hours from basically 0%. And they went all the way up to 100% in just 2 hours. So let's talk about portability on these batteries, because at the end of the day, they are very, very heavy. They're very large. It's important to know what you're getting into before you buy one of these units. So luckily, these units do have wheels, and it's very, very easy to just roll them around your house. I mean, they have two 4-axis wheels in the back. You can roll them around. Now, I will tell you right now, if you guys are trying to take these things up and down stairs or even transport them from one house to another house, you're gonna have some pretty big problems because these things are extremely heavy. We've actually had to transport them to a few different locations for shoots as we, obviously shoot these things for commercials, and it was really, really difficult for us to do so. So just something to keep in mind when it comes to portability. So another feature that these offer is actually solar panel charging, which you guys can also buy in addition on the Bluetti website. This will actually allow you guys to basically charge these things up with solar panels, and it does work pretty well. Just something to bear in mind is it's not going to charge super, super quick, like as if you plugged it into an AC wall. You're gonna have to plug it into the solar charger for a long time in order to fill these things up. I don't know the exact time, but definitely do your research on the site and just keep that in mind before you get into the solar charging capabilities of these chargers. So the total storage capacity on these units is 5,100 watts, and it has a total output of 3,000 watts. Just something to keep in mind on these Bluetti EP500s. And just kind of as I mentioned earlier in the video, these things will do a good job of maybe keeping a refrigerator going or making sure that all of your smartphone devices, your Wi-Fi devices are connected. But where you're going to run into some issues is really when you're hooking this thing up to the AC. It'll have enough output to power the AC, but it might not have enough output to do it for very long. So just keep that in mind when you're looking into the EP500 Pros. So the most beautiful feature about these EP500 Pros Pros is that if you guys are looking for that extra wattage, you can actually buy 2 of them and basically put them together. That you can buy an adapter that will allow you to use both of them at the same time for powering things like an AC or refrigerator, and you guys are gonna get double the life, double the power, and just double the operating system. And just to give you an idea of what that would look like is you'd basically be buying this add-on from Bluetti to be able to hook up to both of them in order to get double the output and double the power. So really quickly, I just wanted to show you guys a quick commercial for these EP500 Pros that we filmed. So just take a quick look at kind of what these things will be able to do for you.
What's up, homie? Here is your wildfire. Let's play a game. Bang, bang, bang. Oops, I should have told you earlier. What's this guy doing?
It's the Bluetti EP500 Pro. When the grid goes down, the EP500 Pro will automatically become your home power source, your Wi-Fi, fridge, lights, and more. Hey Wildfire, I'm afraid your game is over.
Oh yeah, that video does a great job of explaining, what this can do for you during a power outage. And like I mentioned earlier, these things will be more than enough for a few hours or even up to a day. But again, when it comes to longer periods of times where you need to power an AC, a refrigerator, iPhones, etc., just keep in mind that these things will not last forever. So you might need to get a bigger battery. So just going over some use cases on this actual device. Obviously you got the natural disasters, but what else might this be good for? So if you guys just live in an area with consistent power outages, this thing will do a great job of being a backup generator for you. And another use case that we actually used it for was we kept it in our garage where we didn't have a lot of power. So we were able to power things like e-bikes, e-scooters, e-skateboards, anything in that electrical field. These things did a great job of powering for us. We didn't necessarily have to have access to a plug right there. We could just use these portable EP500 Pros. So yeah, my overall review on these things is they definitely get the job done. You are gonna be spending a decent amount of money to buy one of these units as they are a huge battery, but luckily they're gonna be able to be lasting for a very long time. You guys are gonna get a lot of use case out of these batteries. I think it's a great option on the market when it comes to big power stations similar to these things. So the link to these units are down in the description. You guys can look at all of the specs right there on the website, and hopefully you guys got some value from this video about these EP500 Pros. Quickly guys, I just wanted to mention that there is a program called the LAF program that Bluetti does. They essentially help African families. For every single Bluetti that you guys purchase, they included this in the box when they sent these to us for reviews and commercials. I think it's a great cause that, that's just something to add on when it comes to purchasing one of these units. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to give us a subscribe. Electric Buzz, we just started doing review videos about 3 weeks ago. We're already getting some traction on our first few videos, so we are super excited to continuously give you guys some great electronic reviews over the years to come. And as always, guys, peace out.